I think it's kind of a good story to go in blind. Like, you'll enjoy it more if you go in blind. But it's kind of like a thriller, but it's not like scary. It's more just like tense in some moments. But I'm mainly just reading this because I have it, and not really because I want to, which I don't really like to do. But it helps me get my books up for this year. So, and it's a really small book, so I'm hoping to finish it today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. Anyways, also I want to show you my Kindle because I updated all the stickers, so it's more like spring colours, and I think it's so cute. Look how cute it is. I love it. This is also what I'm going to read after this one, which is the 4th book in a series I was reading, and it's genuinely like so good. I can't wait to read it. It literally came out a few days ago as well, but I wanted to finish this book before I read it because I'm really not good at reading two books at once. I can't do it. I like to be really engrossed in a story, you know. Anyways, let's do some reading. I hope this relaxes you / sends you to sleep. And yeah, okay. Let's start. I'm on chapter 8. So sit back, relax, and just listen to the words. You don't have to listen, you can drift off if you like. Okay. I don't know if people like tapping at the same time. Recognising people was one of Amanda's skills. She bought cocktails for the apparatchiks from Minneapolis and Columbus and St. Louis who paid her. She remembered who was who and asked after their families. This was a point of pride. She looked at the man and saw only a black man she had never seen before. You know one another, Clay was reassured. The breeze raised the hair on his legs. We've not had the pleasure of meeting face to face. The man had the practice of a salesman, which was ultimately what he was. I'm G.H. The letters meant nothing to her. Amanda couldn't figure out whether he was trying to spell something. George. The woman thought the name more gentle than the initials, and this was a moment when they needed to seem human. You never knew who had guns and was ready to stand their ground. He's George. He thought of himself as George. He spoke of himself as G.H. George. Right, I'm George. This is our house. Possession was some fraction of the law, and Amanda had deluded herself. She'd been pretending that this was their house. I'm sorry? This is our house, he said again. We emailed back and forth about the house. He tried to sound firm, but also gentle. Amanda remembered, and then it's just the email. The place was comfortable, but sufficiently anonymous that she had not bothered to try to picture its owners. And now, seeing them, she knew that if she had bothered to picture them, her picture would have been incorrect. This didn't seem to her like the sort of house where black people lived. She's a bit racist. But what does she mean by that? This is your house? Clay was disappointed. They were paying for the illusion of ownership. They were on vacation. He closed the door, leaving the world out there where it belonged. We're sorry to bother you. Ruth still had her hand on George's shoulder. Well, they were inside. They'd accomplished something. Why had Clay closed the door, invited these people in? It was so like him. He always wanted to handle the business of life, but was not fully prepared to do so. Amanda wanted proof. She wanted to inspect the mortgage, a photo ID. These people and their dishevelled clothes could be, well, they looked more like evangelists than criminals. Hopeful pamphletists come to witness Jehovah. They have such weird freaking words in this book. It gave us a bit of a fright. Clay didn't mind confessing his own cowardice, since it had passed. A bit barely counted, and it was importantly their fault. Goodness, it's cold out all of a sudden. It is. GH was as good as anyone at predicting how other people would behave. But it took time. They were inside, that was what mattered. Summer storm, maybe it'll pass. They were 4 adults standing about awkwardly as in those last I actually can't read, guys. Anticipatory and oh my gosh. Anticipator. Do you know what? I'm giving up with that word. I know what it is, but I can't say it for some odd reason. I think I'm just got pressure because I'm being watched. It's okay though. It's okay. I also don't think I can read that sentence out loud, so I'm actually gonna not read that at all. It's a bit rude. Amanda was furious at everyone. Clay most of all. She twitched, certain one of these people would produce a gun, a knife, a demand. She wished she'd still been holding the telephone, though who could say how long it would take for the local precinct to get to their beautiful house in the deep of the woods. She didn't even say anything. GH was ready. He had prepared. Tried to guess how these people might react. I understand how strange it must be for you, us turning up like this unannounced. Unannounced. Amanda inspected the word, and it didn't hold up to scrutiny. We'd have called, you see, but the phones. They'd have called? Did these people have her number? I'm Ruth. She extended her hand. Every couple apportioned labour by strength, even or especially at such moments. Her role was to shake hands and make nice and put these people at ease so they could get what they wanted. Clay. He shook her hand. And you're Amanda, Ruth smiled. Amanda took the stranger's manicured hand. If calluses meant honest labour, did softness imply dishonestly? Yes, she said. And I'm GH again. Clay, nice to meet you. Clay applied more pressure than he normally might have, as if he had a point to prove. As he had a point to prove. And Amanda, it's nice to meet face to face. Amanda crossed her arms over her chest. Yes. Though I have to admit that I was not expecting to meet you at all. No, of course not. Maybe we should sit? It was their house. What was Clay supposed to do? That would be lovely. Ruth had the smile of a politician's wife. Sit? Yes, fine. Amanda tried to communicate something to her husband, but one look couldn't contain it. Maybe in the kitchen. We'll have to be quiet though. The children are sleeping. The children, of course. I hope we didn't wake them. GH should have guessed that there should be children. Would be children. But maybe that helped the situation. Archie could sleep through a nuclear bomb. I'm sure they're fine. Clay was his usual joking self. I think I'll just go check on them. Amanda was icy and tried to imply that it was her habit to peer in at her sleeping children every so often. They're fine. Clay couldn't understand what she was up to. I'm just going to go check on them. Why don't you? She didn't know how to complete the fall, so she didn't bother. Let's sit. Clay gestured at the stools at the kitchen island. Clay, I should explain. GH took this on as a masculine burden, like arranging rental cars for trips out of town. He thought another husband might understand. As I said, I would have called. We tried to actually, but there's no service. We stayed not far from here a couple of summers ago. Clay wanted to establish that he had some hold on this geography, that he knew what it was like to have a house in the country. Impossible to get a signal most of the time. That was true, GH said. He had sat, put elbows on marble, leaned forward. But I'm not sure if that's what's happening at the moment. How's that? Clay felt he should offer them something. Weren't they guests? Or was he the guest? Can I get you some water? Down the dark hall, Amanda used her cell phone as a light. Having confirmed that Archie and Rose still existed, lost in the unworried sleep of children, she tarried just out of sight, straining to hear what was being discussed while trying to get her phone to engage. She gazed at it as if it was a mirror. but it did not recognise her. Maybe the hallway was too dark and did not come to life. Amanda pressed the home button and it lit up. Shh. Sorry if you can hear my doggo. He's having a little sleep. Sleep. I'll show you him at the end. What do we get to? Down the dark hall, Amanda used her cell phone as a light. Having confirmed that... Oh, I just read that. Amanda pressed the home button and it lit up, showing her a news alert. The barely legible T of the New York Times, and only a few words. Excuse me. Sorry. I went out for dinner today, so I'm a bit gassy. Sorry about that. Major blackout reported on the east coast of the United States. She jabbed at it, but the application didn't open. Just the white screen of the thinking machine. This was a specific flavour of irritation. She couldn't be mad, but she was. Tonight we were at the symphony. GH was in the middle of his explanation, in the Bronx. He's on the board of the Philharmonic. Connubial pride, it couldn't be helped. She and George believed in giving back. It's to encourage people to take an interest in classical music. Ruth was over-explaining. Amanda came into the room. The kids are okay? Clay did not understand that this had been only pretense. They're fine. Amanda wanted to show her husband her phone. She didn't have any news beyond those 11 words, but it was something, and represented some advantage over these people. We were driving back to the city, home. Then something happened. It wasn't trying to be vague. Even in the car, he and Ruth hadn't spoken of it, because they were afraid. A blackout. Amanda produced this, triumphant. How did you know? GH was surprised. He had expected to have to explain. They'd seen nothing but darkness all the way out, and then, through the trees, the glow of their own house. They couldn't believe it because it didn't make sense, but they didn't care to make sense. The relief of light and its safety. A blackout? Clay was expecting something worse. I got a news alert. Amanda took a phone from her pocket and put it on the counter. What did it say? Ruth wanted more information. She'd seen it with her own eyes, but knew nothing. Did it say why? Just that. There was a blackout on the East Coast. She looked at her phone again, but the alert was gone, and she didn't know how to return to it. It is windy outside. Clay felt that the cause and effect was clear. It's hurricane season. Wasn't there news about a hurricane? Amanda couldn't recall. A blackout. GH nodded. So we thought. Well, we live on the 14th floor. The traffic lights would have all gone out. It would have been chaos. Ruth didn't want to bother explaining in more detail. The city was as unnatural as it was possible to be. Accretion of steel and glass and capital and light was fundamental to its existence. A city without power was like a flightless bird, an accident of evolution. Blackout? Clay felt like he was simply offering the word to someone who had forgotten it. There's been a blackout. That doesn't seem so bad. Amanda didn't buy it. It didn't seem true. The lights seemed to be working here. She was right, of course. Still, everyone looked at the pendants over the kitchen island like 4 people seeking hypnosis. You couldn't explain electricity at all, neither its presence nor its absence. Were her words an act of hubris? Or hubris? Hubris, I think. There was the sound of the wind against the window over the sink. Immediately thereafter, the lights flickered. Not once nor twice, 4 times. Like a message in Morse that they had to decipher, like a succession of flash bulbs. But it held steady, it held course. The light held the night at bay. The 4 of them had breathed in sharply. All 4 of them exhaled. I don't know how long to make this video. I'm just going to keep going. Let's do one more chapter. Jesus Christ. The Lord's name in vain meant blasphemy, but also futility. Jesus cared nothing for Clay, but the power didn't go out. Clay had already imagined Amanda and the other woman, what was her name? Screaming. Maybe it was unkind to equate femininity with fear. He'd have to reason with them, a windy night, a far-off corner of Long Island. The world was so big that much of it was remote. You could forget this if you lived too long in a city. Electricity was a miracle. They should be grateful. It's fine, GH said it to himself, to his wife. So there was a blackout, and you drove all the way here. Amanda couldn't make sense of this. Manhattan was so far away, it didn't make any sense. These roads, they're familiar. I barely even thought about it. We saw the lights go, and I looked at Ruth. GH didn't know how he could explain what he didn't entirely understand. We thought we might stay, Ruth said. No sense dancing around it. Ruth had always been direct. You thought you might stay here? Amanda knew these people wanted something. But we're staying here. We knew we couldn't drive into the city. We knew we couldn't walk up 14 flights. So we drove out here and thought you might understand. Of course, Clay understood. Amanda looked at her husband. What he means is, of course we understand. Did she though? What if this was some con? Perfect strangers warming their way into the house, into their lives. I know it's a surprise, but maybe you can. This is our house. We wanted to be in our house, safe, while we figured out what's going on out there. Sorry about that. GH was being honest, but it still seemed like he was selling something. It's our good luck we had gas, Ruth nodded. Honestly, I don't know how much farther we could go. Aren't there any hotels? Amanda was trying not to be rude, but she knew this sounded rude. We've rented the house. Clay was thinking it over. He began to say something. He was persuaded. Of course, you've rented the house. GH knew they'd talk about money because most conversations got there eventually. Money was his subject. It was no matter. We could of course offer you something. We know it's an inconvenience. You know, we're on vacation. Amanda thought inconvenience too mild a word. It felt like a euphemism. That he'd been so quick to bring money into it seemed more dishonest. GH had silvered hair, tortoiseshell glasses, a gold watch. He had presence. He sat higher in his seat. Clay, Amanda. This was something he'd learned at business school in Cambridge. When to deploy first names. I could absolutely refund you your money. You want us to leave? In the middle of the night? My children are sleeping, and you just come in here and start talking about refunding our money? I should call the company. Can you even do that? Amanda walked to the living room to get her computer. Maybe there's a phone number on the website. I'm not saying you should leave. GH laughed. We can refund your stay. We can refund you, say, 50% of what you paid. You know, there's an in-law suite. We'll stay downstairs. 50%? Clay liked the promise of a less expensive vacation. I really think we ought to look at the terms and conditions. Amanda opened the laptop. Of course it's not working now. Maybe the Wi-Fi needs to reset. Let me try. Clay reached towards his wife's computer. I don't need your help, Clay. She did not like the implication of her inability. They both had a proximity to youth. College kids for him, for Amanda an assistant and junior staff. They'd both been subject to that humiliating inversion. Watching, gleaning, imitating, like toddlers playing at dress-up. Once you were past a certain age, this was how you learned. You had to master technology or be mastered by it. It's not connected. We heard the emergency broadcast system. Ruth thought this explained a great deal. I thought to turn on the radio. This is the emergency broadcast system. Her tone was not mocking, but faithful, sounding the right stresses and intonation. Not a test? Do you understand? Not, this is only a test. That's the only way I've ever heard it, so I didn't even notice it at first. But then I kept listening and I heard it again. This is the emergency broadcast system. Emergency? Amanda was trying to be logical. But of course. A blackout is a kind of emergency. Surely, that's one of the reasons we thought it best to come home. It would be unsafe out there. GH rested his case. Well, we have a lease agreement. Amanda invoked the law. Fine, At the moment, that document was filed away in cyberspace, a shelf they couldn't reach. Also, the whole business felt off in some way she could not explain. May I? GH pushed his stool back and walked to the desk. He took the car keys from his blazer pocket and unlocked a drawer. He produced an envelope, the sort provided by a bank, and flipped through the currency inside it. Buddy, come here. Shh, so loud. Buddy, oh. That's very rude. Come here. Hello. I'm almost done. He produced an envelope, the sort provided by a bank, and flipped through the currency inside it. We could give you $1,000 now for the night. That would cover almost half of what you're paying for the week, I think. Clay tried not to, but he always felt moved in a very particular way by the sight of lots of money. He wanted to count it. Had that envelope just been in a drawer in the kitchen this whole time? He wanted a cigarette. $1,000? This is an emergency outside. Ruth wanted to remind them of this. It seemed immoral to have to pay them, but she hadn't expected anything else. It's up to you. GH knew how to persuade someone. Of course, we would be very grateful. Come here. We could show you how grateful we are, then tomorrow we'll know a little more. We'll figure it out. He did not commit to leaving, which was important. Clay continued to prod his wife's work-issued computer. This doesn't seem to be responding. His intention had been pure. He wanted to be the yuan. Sorry, guys. Whoa. You sleepy? Sleepy, buddy? Okay, I'm almost done. He's like, going to sleep. Sorry, guys. I really want to finish this chapter. He wanted to be the one to show them that the world was chugging along, that people were still photographing their Aperol spritzers and tweeting invective about the mismanaged public transport system. In the minutes since that news alert had been issued, some intrepid reporter had likely figured the whole thing out. He could still hear the wind that he blamed. It was always some innocent thing. Anyway, I think one night, perhaps we could discuss this privately. Amanda did not want to leave these people unattended. Right, of course. GH nodded like this was the most sensible thing. He put the fat little envelope down on the counter. Yeah, Clay was flustered. He didn't know what there was to discuss besides that bundle of money. Maybe we'll just go into the other room. Say, you wouldn't mind if we have a drink? Clay shook his head. GH used the keys once more, unlocking a tool cabinet by the sink. He rummaged around inside. We'll be right back. Make yourself... Amanda didn't finish the sentence because it seemed silly too. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this random little video of me reading. I hope it made you sleepy. Got a runny nose. And I hope it relaxed you. If you liked it, let me know in the comments down below. And I'm going to show you guys Bud. Come here. This is my dog. Do you want to say hi? Buddy. Buddy, come here. God, he does not want to be held right now. Come down. Oh, there we go. You gonna say hi? Okay. He seems to not really be wanting to have a cuddle. No? I don't know what he's doing. Anyway. He's clearly being a fidget right now. I am gonna let you guys go to sleep. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. It's actually a longer one, but hopefully it's easy